tonight. Sarah Lee, Paul Saltman, Austin Shepherd, and the crew, covering all elite wrestling, bringing you the news. It's Sunday Night Raw, gonna rock your world. Tune into the podcast, let the chaos unfurl. The energy's electric, the passion's on fire. Kicking out podcasts, take it higher and higher.
What's going on, Kicking Out Podcast Nation? It is Sunday night. It is September 22nd, 2024, and I am back. I am back in the house, your reigning, defending KLP Predictions Champion for 357 days and counting. Basically a year at this point, Shep. Basically a year.
Boo. Boo. we were hoping a scorpion got you out in Arizona or something.
Well, you know, there are a lot of scorpions out there. Rattlesnakes, scorpions, all sorts of things. So.
Well, no, the rattlesnake's in Texas.
That's true. He's in Nevada now, isn't he?
Oh, is he in Nevada now?
Yeah, at his ranch, Broken Skull Ranch.
Chasing his damn cat he cusses every day.
What's he got? He's got Macho and Poncho and Macho, I think.
Something
Poncho
like
and
that.
Macho, yeah, something like that. Cat Dad, Stone Cold. Who would have thought in 2024? But here we are. Got some comments here on YouTube. Steven Chambers says, "What's up, guys? Tanner back from catering." Yep, back from catering. Decided to show up to work this week. Majin stepping up jabronis. Brandon J said, "Guys,
Is Steffi you out there watching today? I wore this shirt just for you. Little Young Money. Kyle Larson had to wear this shirt for you.
Did he win today?
Yes, last night.
Last night.
Yes.
Majin does raise the one for our king. Appreciate you, Majin. And Brandon J, AW on Max, baby. Yes, we will be talking about that here momentarily. But first, Shep, I see you got something frosty in your hand. So what are we drinking tonight?
In celebration of a Kyle Larson win last night, a Carson Macedo win out in California, $83,000 richer for old Carson. He's all that shit's back here. It says, congratulations to him. And the Colts are in the win column. And we beat them awful Bears. Maybe the worst front office in the NFL. And I used to say that about the Colts. And it might be because of the Bears now. You literally push out Justin Fields for this jabroni from USC. and I'm not going to make any comments because I don't want to offend anybody. And I don't want to get canceled or get Twitter famous because of my mouth. But you guys thought that was a good idea. You're wrong. Bad idea. Colts win. Bears suck. Cheers. Old, cold Shep Weiser.
Shep Weiser. My Broncos got in the win column today, too. Surprisingly, down in Tampa. I did not have that in my predictions this week, but I'm glad it happened. So save my sports weekend from being another bad sports weekend that I'm getting too accustomed to these days. But it's all good.
Yeah, actually, your boy Cortland Sutton kind of actually bailed me out this week. I had a receiver go out, and that's all I could pick up. He got me 13 points today. So
yeah, he actually got open a little bit today, got the ball. Broncos played well today. So hopefully they can
68 yards.
Keep it up next week.
Who they play next week?
Shep, your internet is cut. Are we back? I am having bad Wi-Fi issues on my end. So
I got you. I got
I
you.
thought it was you. I think it's me though, Shep. Okay. Okay.
Normally it is me.
So hopefully that doesn't happen again. And I think it's me tonight. I turned my Wi-Fi off on my phone, so hopefully that'll help. But I actually do have some wrestling on behind me. So we got to pull up the "What Are We Watching" graphic. Not the greatest day in pro wrestling history, September 22nd, but we did have a WWF pay-per-view back in the day in 2002. Had Unforgiven from the Staples Center in LA. So that's what I got on behind me.
Is that the Dudley Boys Edge Christian Goldust? Did you see
Goldust and Regal. You got the Un-Americans. That's Test. Rest in peace, Lance Storm. Goldust and Regal. Dudley Boys, Kane.
Booker T.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
Yep.
there you
So Goldust and Booker T. Yeah.
That was 2002, you said?
Yep. Yep.
So here we are 22 years later, and he's a trios and tag team champion.
Oh, man. And what a bunkhouse match he and Guevara put on against Taven and Bennett last night in Collision. I enjoyed that a lot.
One of the few matches on Collision I enjoyed.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty, I don't know, man. They got to do something about Collision.
Pretty blah, I thought.
Yeah, pretty blah. Dynamite was good. But Collision was pretty blah. But before we get into talking about this week's Dynamite, let's talk about the big AW news that's been circulating with the TV deal.
Wait. I thought what's bigger than that? There's something bigger in AEW than that Sonra Sapp reported. They didn't get the graphic, but they are officially signed.
The Outrunners, baby, all elite.
Outrunners, all elite.
What?
I don't know why they didn't get the graphic.
They should have, because they would have got a pop out of everybody.
But that's bigger news than, I guess, maybe not. That's pretty big news.
Yeah, no, the Outrunners, man. Fans are loving them. I know you've been an Outrunners guy since day one, since you first saw them in Indy getting squashed.
And then turning around and getting squashed in a dark match, and then turning around and being on the security team later that night in Dynamite.
Yes. But a lot of AEW TV news been reported this week. Let me pull up the report here. Puck was the first publication to grab this. They reported that AEW is getting a 4-year deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, 3 years guaranteed with the other year optional. This deal is going to be worth around $170 million, with AEW programming remaining on TNT and TBS, and additionally airing on True TV. So that's a new part of the contract that's never been in there. Don't know if that means replays or certain
Rampage.
show. Yeah, certain show. Well, it's interesting you mentioned Rampage, because right here, Andrew Zarian of the Matt Min podcast does a great job over there. He said he's pretty well connected with the TV side of things when it comes to wrestling. And he said that the deal is done. Just a few things are left to be finalized. He also said AEW pay-per-views will finally make their way to Max in January. So that's music to my ears. I'm sure it's music to your ears, music to a lot of AEW fans' ears, because now you just got to pay the $9.99 or whatever it is per month for Max. And you don't have to shell out $50 every month for the pay-per-views.
Which when they moved to Thriller TV, it was way better platform.
Right.
Than
Bleacher Report's the worst.
Oh my God, was that bad?
Oh.
But now, yeah, definitely now Max. It's just like, yeah, there's another streaming service. I lost track how many I have. It's ridiculous, but
I know. Same.
I'll have that one, I guess.
Yeah, I know we picked it up like a year ago. There was something on there my wife wanted to watch, and I'm like, well, hopefully AEW goes, pay-per-views go to Max eventually, and then that way I can justify keeping it. So looks like it's going to be that starting in 2025. Zarian also noted he hadn't personally heard about True TV as part of the package, but he speculated True TV could be used to air replays of Dynamite and Collision. Meanwhile, it seems Rampage will not be airing on TNT or TBS, applying it'll either be canceled or itself aired on True TV, possibly paired with AEW Shockwave, whatever that turns out to be. Fox has been reportedly linked to Shockwave, though Zarian noted that network they refer to both TBS and TNT, for example, as Turner. So Fox could be Fox itself, Fox Sports 1, FX, Tubi. So interesting, though, that Fox is still interested in wrestling.
Fox gets rid of WWE and maybe one of the peak times in the last 15 years of WWE, and then they're going to pick up their competition. That seems a little fuzzy, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll have to see, like, if that does indeed happen, what night it would be. I read a report where a lot of people thought it was because they were getting rid of SmackDown because they couldn't sell ads. Fox said that wasn't the case at all. It's just they didn't really want to pay that much anymore for WWE programming. So I think with still having the ability to sell ads with professional wrestling, they can get AEW for cheaper, for maybe an hour instead of 2 hours.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yes, I am seeing the YouTube comments. My internet sucks tonight. I apologize to everybody. Hopefully it's smooth sailing here on out, but we will see. But no, I'm excited. I mean, I know we've speculated for all year long when AEW was going to get the new TV deal. I don't think we were ever in doubt. I know a lot of the IWC was saying, oh, AEW's not going to get a new TV deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. We were pretty confident they would. So I think that's exciting. I'm real excited about the Max part of the deal. And then if Fox comes into play, I think that's cool too. I guess ideally, Shep, if you were in charge of scheduling AEW weekly television, how would you coordinate it? Days, times, hours, shows?
I think Wednesday night 2 hours is
Yep.
Good. Obviously, we saw the 2 hours. I think is key. I think 3 hours is too much, and WWE cutting an hour out of Raw coming up, I think makes sense. So, and there's a lot of content that they try to push in those 2 hours. So, Dynamite staying on Wednesdays for 2 hours, perfect. You put it on TBS or TNT, I don't care. Rampage stays on Friday night. If it's a 10 o'clock show, it'd be perfect for a true TV. Collision, prime time on a Saturday, 8 to 10. You're not going to see it on an FS1 because you're going to get killed by sports. I don't see him putting it on Fox because of sports. So if you had to move Collision on Fox, honestly, it makes sense to put it on a Sunday night. I know you're going to get involved with your pay-per-views.
I don't think Tony would do it because of the NFL. That's the reason he holds pay-per-views on Saturdays during NFL season.
But if you keep Dynamite on Wednesday, I think it's too quick a turnaround to have it on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Monday night's taken. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't want to compete on Mondays.
Even though they're going to Netflix.
Even though they're going to Netflix, I think that'll help them actually.
Yeah. I did too.
And again, I think Tuesday's too quick of a turnaround. Dynamite's your lead show. It's got to be the first show of the week.
Yep. Yeah, and if they went to Tuesdays, all of a sudden we have Tuesday Night Wars again with NXT, which is moving to CW at the start of October. You would have that all up again. But it is interesting that they're dabbling in possibly having a show on a different network, because the reason Dark went bye-bye was when they introduced Collision, Warner Brothers Discovery wanted everything exclusive on their networks. So that's why Dark went bye-bye from YouTube. So I'm guessing there's going to be no exclusive parts of this new deal. So we'll see.
And if we lose Rampage, I don't think anybody's going to shed a tear on that one.
No, I got to be honest. It's usually recorded programming for me that sometimes I watch, sometimes I don't. This week I didn't. So got a couple questions here. Stephen Chambers, if Fox is not satisfied with WWE, what can AEW do any better? I think it's just the price tag. They
Money,
they didn't
yeah,
think it was
yeah.
worth the price tag anymore. They were paying because they shelled out quite a few bucks for WWE programming, SmackDown, I should say. Brandon J, do you guys think Collision needs to be a more important show? I think they need to do something because I look at Dynamite as the flagship, and not only just the flagship, it's head and shoulders above Collision, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I feel like they keep a lot of the stars on Collision or Dynamite only. I know the roster is big enough where they think they can split them, but I still think you gotta put your best guys on show, whether it's on a Wednesday night or a Saturday night. So, you know, Collision to me, yeah, obviously the guys that headline Collision, guys like FTR and back in the day it was CM Punk, it was his show. I've lost a lot of steam, or let me rephrase that. I've lost a lot of excitement for Collision. I record it every week, and I'll be honest, 75% of the times I sit on the couch with the fast forward button and think, all right, I watch the show. Dynamite, I watch the show start, I fast forward through the commercials, and then I watch the programming.
Right.
So, and maybe it helps too that it's not on a Saturday night.
Right.
You know, during the week I don't have a life, so Wednesday night it's out in the barn and you watch Dynamite. So Saturday night, you know, if you don't get home till late, it's hard to start a show at 10:30 at night and make it through the whole thing. So
sure. No, that's kind of how I am with AEW. I mean Dynamite's, I don't miss it. Like even this week when I was on vacation, I think it was a day or two later, but I watched it recorded through YouTube TV. I always make sure to tune in every week to Dynamite, but some weeks when I miss Rampage, especially, I'm like, okay, whatever. If I miss Collision, usually read the dirt sheets to see what happened. But like last night, for instance, I caught a little bit of the show. I watched the bunkhouse match, but you know, usually I got other things going on during college football season on Saturday nights. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. A few more comments here. Majin, as far as pay-per-views goes, let's be honest, everyone prefers Saturday papes. Yeah, it is a little easier when you have to stay up late to recover the next day. Stephen Chambers say put it on Thursday because there's people that don't have access TV for Impact. I would say most people don't have access TV for Impact.
You know, though, I personally don't. I watch it via an app, but I think Impact, they're gaining a little momentum right now, and it's I don't know if I'd want to go against them.
Yeah,
you know, with their partnership with NXT right now, there's some real good momentum right there, and I don't know if I'd want to go against Impact right now.
Yeah, they got some good things going on. It's just they're so hurt by being on Access. I mean,
yeah,
they just can't pop a rating. Majin, I wonder what happens to Collision for Canada. TSN hiding it behind a paywall. I have 2 words for you. Fuck and the you. Yeah, I mean, nobody likes paywalls. Yeah, that sounds like 3. Hey, the metric system's different up there in Canada, you know. Steven Chambers says replace Rampage with ROH or highlight their women's division. Speaking of the women's division, Majin said I'd give Shockwave to the women, make it a women's division show. That's an interesting thought.
They have enough talent.
That's an interesting thought. All right, let's see here. Steffi asked me how those Avs do. It's preseason hockey, so we're not worried about how the Avs did yet.
God, is it preseason hockey already?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to believe, isn't it? Feels like it just ended.
Holy shit.
Let's see here. Majin, it's easy for us, not as easy for Shep since he starts where he left off and drinks more. I think he's talking about the pay-per-views. Shep, Saturday night pay-per-views. Yeah. So. and Majin said, don't include and when he said 2 words to TSN.
So we're supposed to, you know what? So you're acting like a woman. We're supposed to read between the fucking lines. Jesus.
Yeah. Yep. But all right, now let's talk.
Hey, hold on. Let alone being Canadian. Now you're acting like a. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Actually, before we jump into Dynamite, I want your thoughts on a AEW talent that reportedly asked for his release. That would be Miro.
Should
this
have.
week.
Should have. I thought he would ask a long time ago. Obviously, his creative mind and Tony Khan's creative mind didn't see eye to eye.
Nope.
I think the guy is super talented. And he tried a couple gimmicks in AEW, and none of them took off.
Nope.
So he's sitting at home getting a paycheck, which was reported in the seven figures.
Seven figures, and he signed an extension in 2022 that takes him partway through 2026. So, yeah.
I mean, I know at some point in time, money doesn't matter, and you're sick of staying at home, not doing anything. I would think WWE would snatch him up real quick, and put him back to work. I could see him, obviously, Impact wanting to do something with him. I could see him going over to Japan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely a need for him in the market. It just depends on who wants to get him.
Yep. For some reason, it just hasn't mixed with him and AEW. From a creative standpoint, like you said, he and Tony don't meet eye to eye. Things are pitched. He don't want to do it. He pitches things. Tony doesn't want to do it. I mean, we haven't seen him wrestle since World's End, which it was kind of funny to look back on. It was him and Andrade in that pay-per-view. Haven't seen him at all in 2024. I know he had an injury, but he's supposedly been healthy from that injury for quite some time now.
Went through divorce.
So I know it's some personal stuff, but yeah, I was real excited when he showed up during the Daily's Place era during the pandemic in 2020 when he was released by WWE, and then they put him in that weird thing with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, kind of as
the best man, right?
Yeah, the best man, and then he finally became the Redeemer. I like that. He had that good run with the TNT title. Sammy Guevara took it off him, which Sammy's still the only guy to pin Miro in AEW. But I don't know, just never really clicked for some reason. And I know we were talking on the podcast a few weeks ago about the Lucha Bros. Stephen Chambers here saying he's seen the Lucha Bros haven't been signed to WWE. Yes, that is correct because they are technically still under AEW contract, but Tony hasn't extended time to Rey Fenix's deal or anything like that. So whenever their contract ends, they will be WWE bound. I just don't know when exactly that's going to be. So, which is unfortunate for AEW, but good for them.
You know, one thing I look at though, that the Lucha Bros will struggle in the WWE. Obviously, it's not their in-ring work. Their in-ring work is awesome. They struggle with the language barrier.
Sure.
And I think that's the only thing that keeps Penta back from being maybe a single star in the upper card of any promotion. You know, he did hold the Impact World title,
right?
But I think that's what's held him back in AEW. The guy can go with anybody. It's just a little bit of a language barrier there.
Yep.
I think that and with WWE, you better be ready to talk. You know, It's live television.
Yep. And Stephen Chambers said Penta's been upset with AEW as of late. Yeah, definitely seen some frustration from his side on social media this year for sure. I think they've done everything they can do in AEW. I mean, they've been there 5 years. I don't blame them for trying to go somewhere where they can have some fresh matchups, fresh storylines, new crowd to work in front of. And I will say one thing that WWE will take advantage with the Lucha Bros that AEW fumbled: merch.
Yeah.
WWE will sell those masks. That's something AEW, for whatever reason, never did. And when it comes to merch, I could go on for an hour about AEW struggles. I don't get why they don't have more merch at live events. I don't understand why they don't capitalize on anything. Like Danhausen should have masks. Steen should have a mask. I'm not talking about just a plastic mask. Lucha Bros should have had masks. I mean, kids would buy those things. They don't take advantage of the obvious situations.
If you remember when we watched them down in Indianapolis,
right?
The merch table looks like a Aunt Boozy's garage sale setup. It's two folding tables, a wall, and that's it. And
yep.
The lines around the corner, and like, if I'd ever want to buy a shirt, I'm like, I ain't gonna wait in a line like that.
Right.
But it's not like you can go down to the other side of the arena and go to that
No,
merch
they
table.
only have one. Yep.
There's one merch table, and it like I said, it looks like Grandma Boozy set it up for a garage sale, and
Right.
there's one person working behind it.
Yep.
So
Yep. Same experience when Paul and Logan and myself and Pluggo went down this year, and you had to miss, unfortunately, when your family wasn't feeling well. Same thing with the setup, and then the WWE live event, the house show I went to, and you and a friend of the show, Grand Downs, went to last year. They only had one merch stand, but it was double or if not triple the size.
the thing
AEW.
wrapped around the corner.
Yeah. So, I mean, WWE knows what they're doing when it comes to merch. AEW hasn't figured it out yet. And I think, honestly, even though I think this company does great work, I think it's their partnership with Pro Wrestling Tees, their exclusive partnership, that hurts them in this category. Because I think Pro Wrestling Tees is limited sometimes into what they can and can't do.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
Yep. So, yeah, okay. I was just checking the YouTube comments here. But yeah, let's talk about some Dynamites. It opened up with Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho, a feud that we saw back in 2020. I know a lot of people have complained, why are they revisiting this? Blah, 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 blah. I don't really have a problem with them revisiting this personally, because that happens in wrestling. I mean, especially if it's years between the times those guys have feuded. So I don't have a problem with it, but this match didn't really click for me.
It went too long.
Yeah.
I think they got 21, 22 minutes of this
Mm-hmm.
to kill it off the show. Maybe 2 commercial breaks in there. I did like to start with the conglomeration coming down, and
Sure.
The way they kicked the match off, the guys get in the ring and they just start beating the tar of each other. They end up going to the back. I didn't mind the match. I just thought it could go a little shorter. We spent a little too much time here.
Yep. Yeah, like Modern said, because feuds usually come back around. Cena Orton, Cena Edge, Cena Jericho, Cena Hunter needed me to go on. No, exactly. I mean, once the company's only 5 years old, it's got to get older and older. You're gonna have feuds revisited. That's pro wrestling. So,
and how many of those guys that you just brought up, obviously Jericho being out of the company, Hunter being retired, with Cena coming back for a run, we're going to get a Cena Orton again.
Yeah. Oh, they have to. They have to.
I mean, he's got a whole year of stuff he's got to
get through.
planned for. So Orton right now is definitely going to be on that list.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They'll definitely revisit some feuds, and I think they'll have John work with some younger talent too to put them over. So they got to be, because I think he's going to have 30 some dates. So, and not all those dates will be matches. So they got to be smart with that. But I'm sure it'll be well done. I just hope for John Cena's sake and the rest of the fans, he stays healthy. That'd be pretty bad. Because if he got injured, I don't think he would extend it. I think he would ride off in the sunset. But
I think it was last week he posted some videos on Instagram of him working out, and the guy's like squatting 611 pounds right now.
He's getting his muscle back up.
Yeah. He'll be all right. He'll be all right.
I know, Majin. John's hadn't always been one to put over talent, but I think this time around, I think he would do it. I mean, and really, honestly, the last few years since he's been a one match a year type of guy, he's put over talent. I mean, put over Austin Theory. I can tell you the last time John Cena won a singles match, to be honest. So, just saying. But we saw Orange Cassidy get the win over Jericho. Jericho tried to cheat with a roll of quarters, but then it backfired on him as he lost the quarters up in the air. Orange Cassidy caught them and hit him with the orange punch for the win. But as we saw in a social media exclusive, this feud's far from over, because Jericho's now saying he's coming after the conglomeration, all of them. So on we go in the Jericho vortex. That's what we do with Jericho feuds. They go on for 6 months at a time.
Not always the best ideas, but that's okay.
Nope.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week, Tanner. And I refer to this as the sparkler incident.
Oh, God.
But when Briscoe tried to dump all the quarters on Jericho's
it was awful. It was awful.
Like, he didn't do anything to the car.
it maybe scratched it, which you couldn't see on the camera, but whoop-de-doo. You
Yeah,
know?
and Jericho's melting down in the ring
Oh,
like
yeah.
the thing just blew up,
Yeah,
like they
yeah.
just got filled with cement.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, that looked really bad. So
It was bad.
I referred it to the sparkler incident
Yep.
of Daly's place.
Oh, man. That's a good comparison. I even tweeted, I'm like, that Bentley spot was really dumb when it happened that night, because at first I'm like, all right, we got the bulldozer. This is going to be cool. You know,
Didn't
and
even
I'm
break
even
the
thinking,
windshield. Yeah.
I know. I'm thinking they're going to do something with coins, because that makes sense with the angle and the story and everything. Then they dumped it out. I'm like, ooh, woof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Like Steven Chambers said, get a paint job. Yeah.
He needed to dump the quarters out and then set the front end loader on top of the car.
See,
That
you
would've been
really
better.
need to be the guy they go to, Shep, for angles with cars.
Yeah. I could help
Because
him out.
you remember we talked about that. Remember when Hobbs suplexed Paul White on the car?
Oh my God.
You haven't seen Paul since. He hit the hard part of the car.
Yeah, he hit the A pillar of the car, and I'm like, you about missed him. The only part of the car that's not designed to give in a front end collision, and you suplex a son of a buck on there.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah, they need you need to be their go-to guy. We need to get a hold of Tony. Like, hey, we got a guy right here. He knows a lot about cars.
I'll be your car guy and tell you where to suplex the guys onto the cars so it looks real. Yes.
There you go. Real glass, though.
Real glass. Real glass.
Imagine Hangman and Swerve are the only pair I'd want to see AEW try that sparkler again, but properly. No, I agree with that. Yeah, if they're going to do exploding barbed wire death match, which I doubt they'll ever do again, those two would be great for it.
I don't think with those guys right now, as deep as they are embedded in this feud, if you would bring up those words, everybody would all of a sudden turn it into a joke.
Yeah.
And it would take away from their feud.
Yeah.
Those guys are hot right now.
That's
and they are seriously embedded in this feud, and there's some serious emotion in this feud. And if you bring that up with the history, I think they could turn it into a joke, and it could take away from these guys. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Now you can have some type of a different death match. I know we've had a Texas death match, and we've had the cage match. You could spin it some other way. Just don't call it an exploding barbed wire death match.
I don't know. You have to try it again sometime. Even the biggest fails come back sometime around. He said, just look at XPWE. LOL, they even got revived. Those are crazy sons of bucks over there.
Yeah, and I think if you do a match like this, you would
hire a different pyrotechnic company, please.
Yeah, but you'd have to do this outside. I don't know if you could make a big enough bang.
Yeah.
Inside of an arena.
True.
So Daly's place would have to be it, and Daly's place isn't that big. So
no,
that or you have it in the 50-yard line of the freaking Jaguar Stadium.
Yep.
I am shocked. We are getting all in Texas next year.
Mm-hmm. Globe Life Field. Yep.
Okay. Big arena. Why wouldn't they run it in the Jag Stadium? I don't get that.
I haven't understood that either. I know the Jags are going to get a new stadium. Of course, it's not going to be done till like 2028 or something like that. So I wonder if he's trying to wait till then. But I've been surprised. I thought Jaguar Stadium would be their first American stadium they did. Big stadium outside of Arthur Ashe. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Good question. Maybe he wants to see how Globe Life's going to go first, and then try one in Jacksonville eventually.
Yeah.
Oh. What else on Dynamite? There were some things. I mean, Hook JD Inc. That was a squash match. Of course it was. Mariah May and Serena Deeb versus Yuka Sawazaki and Queen Aminata. Jeez, I cannot talk.
I thought it was Aminata.
Aminata. Thank you, Shep. I cannot read. They got the win via DQ. which
They did.
DQ in a women's match. We do not see that very often in AEW.
I like Serena Deeb. Like her a lot. I like pairing her with Mariah May. I like Queen Amanada. The more I see her, the more I enjoy her in-ring work, and I think she deserves to get some more reps. So I'd like to see more of her. Sakazaki, I could give or take.
She's getting a world title shot against Mariah at Grand Slam this upcoming Wednesday.
Hopefully that's a 8-minute match. And
that card's up to 8 matches. How are they going to do that in 2 hours? Or is some of them going to be taped on Collision?
No, I think it's all live.
My God. That'll be interesting.
A lot of picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
You'll have to.
Yeah.
But again, that's why I like a 2-hour show like that. It's nonstop action.
Oh, I'm getting called out for my bad pronunciation skills tonight. Majin's saying I need to get drunk because I can't possibly flub my words more than I'm already doing. Oh, I could, Majin. I definitely could. Mina Shirakawa is coming back too. She's coming back, baby, Majin says.
So glad somebody's happy about it.
Just waiting. I was just waiting for a comment from Shep. So.
I'm positive.
You're being good.
I'm positive, Shep. Very positive individual.
Majin, I don't know if you guys want Mina, but I do. That doesn't surprise us, Majin. That doesn't surprise us in the bit. One thing I wanted to get your opinions on, Shep, and everybody watching on YouTube, which appreciate everybody watching. If anybody's listening to this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. The BCC. What do you think of Moxley, Claudio, Marina Shafir laying waste to Private Party when Private Party blindsided the trio when they were coming out for Moxley to speak because they want to shot those trios titles, which Moxley's not even involved with. Yuta is one of the trios champs, but Claudio and Pac said Yuta better show up to work next week.
And it sounds like he is.
Yeah.
Sounds like he said, I will do it.
Mm-hmm. Even though he's conflicted, didn't even have his title with him.
He forgot it, remember?
Yep. Forgot what show it was, too.
I like this angle. I like this angle a lot. And I like that they're not rushing it. I like that we're not going to get, we're not going to get BCC versus Danielson until Wrestle Dream. Well, maybe.
Assuming Mox beats Darby.
Assuming. But this is the side of Mox that made him famous. This is what got him signed to WWE. And that hammer spot couldn't have been any better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like this side. I like a heel Claudio. Pac just looks like a natural heel.
Oh yeah. Shafir looks like a beast.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yep. So it's going to be good. And eventually, and I'll predict it, and I'm not any predictions down the road. There's eventually going to be a leader of this group, and it's going to shake the wrestling world. But it's going to be Shane McMahon.
I'm kind of right there with you because I still think there was something to that meeting. I don't think it was just let's talk about a few things. There's something to that.
There's something there, and it makes sense that Mox, Claudio, and Pac all are WWE guys.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's gonna. I think it's gonna happen eventually, and it's Tony Khan's gonna make it where Shane's wild for him to do this, and when it happens, it's gonna be you're gonna get holy shit chance for 20 minutes as he walks down that ramp.
Yep. Darby did come down though. He ran down and tried to make the save. It did make the save, and I like how Marina Shafir was holding Claudio off, like, let Mox handle this himself. And they didn't get physical. They got face to face, and Darby grabbed the mic, told him that he's not the same person he was 5 years ago, and he will defeat him next week to become the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. So I know Paul, we've went 40 minutes, and I forgot to even address our other co-host, Paul, who couldn't be with us tonight because he's not feeling well, which hopefully he gets well soon, because I feel like we haven't done a normal pod, the three of us, for like a month. The last time all three of us were on the pod was the All Out prediction show. So hopefully he's back.
I feel like there's
Sunday.
a common denominator, though. It's me.
So, yeah, you are the
Me.
I'm
the anchor, baby.
You are the anchor of the show. Yeah, you showed up to work every week. Like we get paid to do this. Hey, we are looking for sponsors. So, hey, Vinny.
Dollar bills.
Any organization out there wants to sponsor Kicking Out Podcast, hey, just slide into our DMs. We're willing to chat. But who do you think walks out of Grand Slam as the number one contender for Danielson and Wrestle Dream? Mox or Darby?
Mox, and it's a fuzzy finish. What I mean by that is I think BCC gets involved. I'm trying to think who's going to try to run down and help Darby, but it's not going to be enough. And Mox goes over.
Not going to be Sting. I wouldn't want him to do Sting since they just did it all in.
No. Was it Isaiah Cassidy that got the hammer, right?
Yeah.
What was the other guy's name in Private Party?
Mark Quinn.
Mark Quinn. I see him coming down trying to help. Maybe even Isaiah coming down with a cast on his hand and hitting somebody with a cast. But it won't be enough.
So you think Mox wins? So, and I know we're still 3 weeks out from Wrestle Dream, so we can kind of predict things. So do you think, assuming it would be Moxley and Danielson at Wrestle Dream, do you think Mox takes the title off Danielson, retiring him from his full-time in-ring career?
Yes, and here's why.
Okay.
And Busted Open this week. I listen to it pretty much every day.
Yeah, they're great.
And they were one of the biggest complaints this week was how they're rushing into McGinnis and Danielson. No face-to-face, a 2-week build. These guys deserve more, da-da-da-da-da, their history, yeah. The reason they're rushing this is because Danielson needs to have surgery.
Mm-hmm.
They said it. He needs to have this neck surgery that's going to put him on the shelf for, 6 to 8 months, which sucks because I really wanted to see him at Wrestle Kingdom this year. Mm-hmm. I really thought he would be there. I don't think he'll make it that far. And as tight as Brian and Mox are, I guess, in life, I can see this being a passing of the torch, run this company type match.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Mox is going to give him, the hug and the handshake, but Mox wins this belt, leaves him in the middle of the ring and maybe in a pool of his own blood. All to give him the send-off, Mox will just roll out of the ring and disappear, and then you're going to have a 5-minute send-off of just Danielson in the ring. I can even see him taking off the shoes. Okay. I know when they take off the shoes, that means they're never coming back, but I could even see something along those lines. So, yeah. And the only reason I say that is because they're rushing this McGinnis thing, and Nigel has been picking on him for the last 8 months on Collision.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you rush this feud where they had this awesome, awesome run in ROH? Some of the best ROH matches were these two guys. So you're rushing to get one more because he's done.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that.
And I think if you do have somebody like Mox, take it off of him. Depending on how the Mox Darby match goes and has what the finish of the match is. And I know we've talked about this time and time again. I sound like a broken record. that's a way you could eventually make Darby your world champion down the line to eventually take it off Moxley. And I know if we put him in the lineup, Gunther, Cody Rhodes, pretty much any champion of any promotion, Darby would be the outlier. I get it. But I just still think there's been something there about him eventually becoming the world champion. And Stephen Chambers even asks us, do you guys see a triple threat at Wrestle Dream of Danielson, Moxley, and Darby if there's no winner at Grand Slam? Yeah, I could see that because Darby's from Washington as well.
I can see that, yeah. But you know what I call that, Tanner?
Lazy booking.
Lazy booking, man.
Well, I'm not disagreeing.
Just you can't figure out how to throw the three most popular guys right now. So you're just gonna throw them in a three-way. But yeah. I think it's Mox. I like I said, I think the BCC gets involved here at Grand Slam. I think it's a hectic finish. Mox goes over though.
Yeah. It's I definitely think plans have changed. I mean, I don't think this was the plan the whole time. I mean, I definitely think they were planning on Danielson versus Darby. That's why they did that battle royale to see who the number one contender was going to be at Grand Slam a month or so ago. But hey, things happen. Plans change all the time. Look at WWE and WrestleMania 40. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse.
But all I can say though is we're lucky. Is that Eric Bischoff that just made an appearance behind you?
Probably. Douchebag.
No. All I can say is people might be bitching about this, but we're lucky we get to see McGinnis and Danielson one more time.
Yeah.
And back when they did it was it about 06, 07, 08 is when they were in ROH. The only ROH I got back in the day was Sunday nights at 11 o'clock on Fox. I got an hour of television, I think. Sunday nights at 11 p.m. at night. And that was their weekly television show. But all their pay-per-views were online buys.
Yeah,
and
right.
I never bought any of them. So I never was a Ring of Honor club member or whatever they call it.
Yeah, Honor Club, yeah. Yeah, no, I can't say I was ever an avid ROH guy. I mean, the ROH I watched was right before AEW became a thing. When, Bullet Club with Cody and the Bucks and Kenny and Hangman. That's when I got into it. And still even then, it was on Fox late at night on like late Saturday night or early Sunday morning. I don't even remember what time slot it was exactly. So, yeah. Stephen Chambers said also got the 5-year anniversary of Dynamite coming up and Title Tuesday. Yep. Got some other big shows coming up. And he wonders if Christian's going to try to catch in the contract at Grand Slam. Yeah, Christian's got that contract. It's in the back of everybody's mind. Interesting.
I could see him trying to cash it in at Grand Slam. And after a war with McGinnis, him coming down, that'd be a good way. That'd be a good pop.
Yeah.
Good excitement, but also a good way for Danielson to pin him and to get that contract out of his hand.
Yeah.
Good way to get rid of it.
Because it's interesting, if you've noticed, he's taken a couple shots at Moxley in the way of Renee backstage.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how you do that with Mox now being a heel. I don't know how you do the heel. I don't think that would work. That feud.
It's true.
But I don't think they're doing that on accident. I think there's something there because he's doing it 2 or if not 3 times. When he's been interviewed by Renee, he takes a shot at Mox or
but I could also see Mox saying, "I don't give a shit who you are. I'll beat up anybody."
Yeah,
you can be a good guy or a bad guy, and even on AEW television, he might even say the words "heel and face."
Yeah, true.
You can be a heel or face. I don't give a shit who you are. You talk about my wife, I'm going to beat the living tar out of you.
Yeah,
and Mox will do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I could see Mox going ahead and spinning that to where it'll work as a feud.
Yeah. Something to keep an eye on. Before we keep going on Dynamite, this is something I wanted to do for a while now, and I know we're almost at the end of September, but I wanted to look at how you myself and Paul's end of the year title predictions are panning out.
Holy
For
shit!
AJ.
I don't even remember them. They
So-
gotta be completely in left field.
We will start with the women's champion.
I had Sky Blue, didn't I?
You had Thunder Rosa,
Ooh,
and Paul and I had Jamie Hayter, which Jamie is back now, and she's going to be facing Soraya in a Soraya's rules match, which is basically no DQ for Soraya at Grand Slam. I know Majin's going to love that one, but I don't think any of us are going to be correct in that prediction.
No.
Let's see. For the TBS champion, I had Thunder Rosa. You had Sky Blue.
Yeah, I had Sky
And
Blue.
Paul had Anna J. Don't think any three of us are going to be right
Sky
on that.
Blue's on the shelf till probably end of the year.
Yep. Anna J's just coming back, and Thunder Rosa's had a few feuds here and there, but I don't see her taking that off Mercedes. International champion. You went with Takeshka, which I still like that, but somebody's got to take it off. Well, Osprey, maybe the Callis family and Osprey there, maybe.
They're working something there. Those guys will be in a match at some point.
Paul took Miro. Don't think that's happening.
Sorry, Paul. I'm laughing at you.
I took Kyle Fletcher.
I don't hate that either.
I know. Yeah. Triple Crown, which actually we didn't even know what the hell it was at the time. It was Triple Crown because Eddie had 3 titles, but it ends up being just the Continental now that Okada holds. Paul and I both said Jay White. You said David Finlay of New Japan. Because at the time we didn't know what it was. We didn't know.
Well, at the time it was advertised it was going to be represented at New Japan, ROH, and AEW.
Right. Yeah, and I got scrapped pretty quickly.
Yeah. Although I still love what David Finlay does in New Japan.
Oh, sure.
He is great.
Did you see he asked he wants New Japan to reinstate Jay White to be able to come over so he can wrestle him at Wrestle Dream or Dynasty or whatever it may be. So,
yes. Yeah.
The TNT Championship, I don't think any of us are on the right page here. I went with Hangman Adam Page. Don't see that happening.
No.
Paul went with Juice Robinson. And you went with your stepson, Nick Wayne.
I think I got the only shot there.
I think you do too.
and I think we could get that down the road. A Nick Wayne and Scapegoat feud. Two of the young guys. I'd like to see those guys go at that. So
the Trios Championship. I went with LFI, who's not even a group anymore. So that's not happening. Paul went with 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, which that's not happening.
No.
And you went with the Dark Order.
They're at least still together.
Yeah, they're just in ROH, but they're still together.
Yeah.
better than Paul and I's picks.
I thought that maybe they'd give them a little momentum and a little bit of a push, but it hasn't not worked out yet.
The tag team division, I knew I was taking a shot in the dark in this one, and I liked it at the time, 37 weeks ago when I made it. I went with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Well, that's not happening.
No.
Paul went with House of Black, and you went with your boys FTR.
There's a lot. I mean, we still got 3 months left.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
FTR can definitely come back and do it for the end of the year for me.
And for the world champion, we all three agreed that it'd be Will Ospreay.
I'm sorry, I had to readjust. World champion was what?
We all three agreed it'd be Will Ospreay. And I don't think we're going to be right.
I don't think we're going to be right, but there's a good chance that I select that for my 2025 predictions.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I don't think we're going to do so hot, but that's why we do it. It's fun to.
I think. I mean, if we're looking here, I think I might have 1 or 2 points at the end of the year on this gig.
You might.
And I mean, the bet's big.
Yeah, the Kyle Fletcher thing could happen for me. Maybe something happens at Grand Slam when he and Ospreay go against the Bucks. I don't know.
I'm just saying. I think Takeshita is going to pull through, and I think FTR is going to pull through. So that gives me 2 points.
Yeah.
And that's going to beat you and Paul, and I'm going to win the biggest bet we've ever had. I don't remember what we bet on it. I don't think we bet anything on it. But
I don't think we did, but for
millions of dollars, like what Danhausen said.
Yeah, not a guy that just AEW never uses for some reason. Maybe in our 2025 predictions, we work that in. Whoever has the most points at the end of 2025, they get something towards the title. I don't know. I will have to figure that out, but some advantage or something. I don't know.
We get to hit Tanner upside the head with that belt.
Now I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of that one bit. But something I did like from Wednesday's Dynamite was Ricochet and the Beast Mortos.
Okay. Did you listen to Uncle Bully at AEW After Dark? Or
I did not.
But Busted Open After Dark with Uncle Bully.
I did not this week, no.
It's basically an AEW show.
Right.
And his question of the night was, has Ricochet's stock gone up or down since going to AEW? And he took callers.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of them callers had been in the sauce, which I can appreciate. And I love Bully Ray because he has no problem calling them out.
Right.
But the overall consensus I felt like was it's kind of too early to say if his stock's gone up or down yet. Because he hasn't had that big win. And it's all of a sudden going into the Ospreay match, him and Ospreay.
2 weeks at the 5-year anniversary show.
Yep. I personally think it's too early for him to take a clean L, but I don't think he's big enough to go a clean win over Ospreay.
Right.
So I want to say his stock's down a little bit.
I think I've already liked what he's done promo-wise better than I thought. His mic skills were not very good with WWE.
No, he's done really good in backstage segments to build this Ospreay match. You know, they've feuded in the past in other promotions. I just think it's too soon. I think they got to build him a little bit before they put him against Ospreay. He would be a great guy to end up taking the belt off of Ospreay, so Ospreay could get into the world title scene. But it's too soon. Too soon.
Yep. And Majin saying Ricochet, that jumping kick, never use it again. And he said for Danhausen, they don't use him because he can't work. He still could sell a ton of merch, though. That's back to just me being a marketing guy. So.
He can talk. He can talk.
Yeah. And Steven Chambers, are these your end of the year predictions this year or for next year? That Ospreay is going to be the AEW World Title holder, Tony Storm for the women's, Ricochet for TNT, Outrunners for tag, House of Black for trios, Kashka for Continental, and Willow for TBS. Want some clarification on that?
Well, he has future booking, so I'm saying that's going to be his 2025 prediction.
Yep, he said next year. Okay.
I don't disagree with a couple of those for sure.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that Ricochet Ospreay match.
Actually, here's an honest question. Looking at that, talking about that women's division, don't you think by the end of next year, Willow should be in the women's world title hunt?
100%.
I think she's earned it.
If not, something went wrong.
Yeah, she's earned it. She's earned it.
Yep.
So
something went wrong.
Other than that, the predictions, I like those predictions.
Yep. We got an intense segment from Hangman, Adam Page. There with Shivani. Double J came out. They brawled around, had to be separated. And we learned over the weekend, we're getting a lumberjack strap match between Double J and Hangman, a Grand Slam.
What the hell is Double J thinking?
I love it.
Actually, you know what? I will give the guy credit. I'll give the guy credit. I mean, Is he's not 60 yet, is he?
No, he's in his 50s. I think he's. Let's see. I think
He's got to be upper 50s though. We've looked this up before.
I know
but-
we have. He's 57. He turned
Okay.
57 in July.
For a 57-year-old man, Hangman's what, 30?
Yeah, Hangman's, I believe,
Maybe
right
younger
around
than
my
that.
age. Hangman's 33. So
33.
33 as of July. So just a little older than myself.
So 24 years different in age. I mean, let's be honest. Double J could be Hangman's dad, age-wise.
Steven Chambers figured to be Karen and Jarrett on the pole match.
Can I get involved? Mama Wayne would let me.
Yeah, well, hey, every cake you need it too.
Um,
All right. No, I should have set that up on a tee.
Mama Wayne's got that pound cake. Let me tell you.
Oh, why did I say that? I knew better.
Oh, she. Anyway, you know what? I promised myself I wasn't going to be nice tonight. So
Yep.
no vulgarity.
Great work.
Yes. No, and also no P. Diddy jokes out of me tonight. I got a couple of them.
I'm sure you do. That's the internet.
Well, I saw a meme. I gotta say this. I saw a meme of a picture of Vince McMahon in hell, and it says, "Nobody can top me." And then Diddy comes, "Hold my beer." Here comes. It's like, oh my god.
I saw a lot of people referencing Vince tweets back in 2013. I was partying with Diddy, and it's that kid meme. Now wait a minute.
Yes. And then hell, Justin Bieber wrote a damn song about it.
Yeah. That's.
Anyways, that's a whole nother. That's
and that McMahon documentary dropping Wednesday. It's gonna be good on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
It'll be good.
Yeah. That's. If I listened correctly, that the documentary started with his approval, and then halfway through, shit hit the fan, and then he couldn't finish it, but he already had signed off on it, right?
Yep. And WWE has no say in this at all, so it's gonna be interesting.
It's the real deal.
Mm-hmm. Back to Double J though. You were saying
back to Double J. Sorry.
Yep.
That was a rabbit hole. We're good at those here.
Oh yeah.
But a 57-year-old man in a strap match. I think I think if anybody can pull this off, it's Double J.
Mm-hmm.
You know, early in that pay-per-view, I'm watching over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho and Ric Flair went to war.
Yeah.
And Flair had to be late 50s, early 60s in that match.
Let's see what Richard Flair's age is nowadays. He's 75 now. And
So
this
in
was back in 2002.
All right, you do the math there, Purdue grad.
Yeah, so that was 22 years ago. So he was 53. He was younger than Jared is now.
He looked bad for 53. He looked bad for 53. Holy shit. I don't know. I like the storyline. They've done a good job with it. I hope Double J, which I think he can. I think he can still go. We've watched that. You know, guys like him and Dustin Rhodes are just proving us wrong of late. And plus, you got Hangman in there. I think Hangman's veteran enough to help carry this match through. So I'm kind of excited to see this match. I think it'll be intense. Hangman's got this intense character right now that I just love. I love the intensity. I love everything about him right now. I feel like it's real. It's real aggression. You know, it's not. Yeah, professional wrestling can get hokey.
Sure.
You know, over the top. But I mean, lately when Hangman talks, he believes in himself. Like the way he delivers it, like, holy shit, this guy might be really nuts in real life.
Mhm.
You know, we always joked about all those documentaries that came out about Ric Flair is Richard Flair does not exist anymore because Richard Flair thinks he's Ric Flair,
Yep.
and there's no other person but Ric Flair 100% of the day. And Hangman right now, when he gets on the mic in the ring, he's a psycho son of a bitch. So good. I mean, it's real. It works. So, and hopefully 57-year-old Jeff Jarrett can keep up with that.
Yep. And I was looking up some stuff for Grand Slam. So there's going to be 7 matches in Grand Slam on Wednesday night for Dynamite. Then so far there's 3 for Collision that is going to be taped on the 25th and air on the 28th. Or taped on the 26th and air on the
26th and
air on the 28th. Yeah. So
they're going to do 3 matches after we go off the air and
Right.
taping for Rampage.
Right. So on Dynamite, you're going to have, like you said, the Lumberjack strap match between Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and Hangman Adam Page. You got Mariah May and Yuka Sakazawa. You're going to have Pac in the Blackpool Combat Club versus To Be Announced. Supposed to be Private Party, but we'll see for the trios. Okada versus Sammy Guevara in an eliminator match. And if Sammy wins, he gets a title match at the 5-year anniversary show. He made that challenge on Collision. The Young Bucks against Fletcher and Ospreay. Danielson against McGinnis, assuming Danielson's cleared. And Moxley versus Darby Allin. Then on Collision, you have the conglomeration of Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Orange Cassidy versus the Learning Tree team, which is Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. You have Jamie Hayter versus Saraya with Harley Cameron in the Saraya Rules match. And Hook defending the FTW title versus Roderick Strong.
So who do you think will face the BCC for that trios?
I still think it's Private Party.
You think he shows up with a cast on his hand?
Yeah, and I know they were. It looked like Commander was going to be their 3rd member. Why isn't it Scorpio Sky? I thought they were trying to do a storyline with Scorpio Sky trying to team up with these guys. That's a better use of him than anything they've done in a long time.
I could see them replacing that with oh God, I'm losing it. Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs. I could see them trying to throw those guys on mainstream, being the ROH Trios champion, saying, "Hey, we'll step up since these guys can't go," and try to get them some mainstream time. So
yeah, I could see that. I don't know what made me think you said Trios titles and made me think of the Bang Bang Gang for some reason. I wonder when Jay White's gonna be coming back. He's been cleared now for a while, I think. So
yeah, I don't know. I kind of missed that Bang Bang Gang.
I know.
I enjoyed them there for a little bit. I like Juice Robinson a lot.
I like the Guns. I think they're pretty talented too. They've grown on me over the years.
We haven't seen them in a while.
No.
So
And then Dynamite, the only match we didn't really cover, it was the main event. It was Ospreay, Fletcher, and Keshka. So Don Callis' family, even though Ospreay's technically not a member anymore, against the Elite. And Kyle Fletcher got the pin as the Callis family went over the Elite cleanly.
I actually thought I thought that was a really good trios match.
Yeah, well, it was a good match. It was a very
action packed. Bunch of false finishes.
It was one of the Bucks' better matches in a while.
Yeah. No, it was really good.
Yep. So, what would you rate this week's Dynamite? We haven't done ratings in a while.
I just love watching RVD do the Triple H behind you. It's hilarious. I wonder how stoned he was back then. Yeah, I thought it was a good Dynamite. Way better than any other show we watched this week.
Yeah.
I would give this Dynamite a 7.8.
7.8? Okay. You're actually a little higher than me. I was going to go 7.6. Nothing wrong with this week's. I think this next week, as it should, Grand Slam is going to be a really good show. And then the 5th year, I mean, they've kind of been an interesting spot after All Out where they got some big Dynamites coming up before Wrestle Dream that they really got hit out of the park.
I thought they did a good job building up to Grand Slam. Okay. We told a couple good stories here. I really have my hopes set high here for Grand Slam. Like, I think this should be in the 8s, banger show, no matter what. So I really hope it is. I hope I don't get let down.
Right.
And then you turn around and have the 5-year anniversary show, which should be a banger of a show too. So we're set up here for the next 2 weeks, right? They're back to back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grand Slam in 5 years.
Yep.
We're set up to have 2 banger dynamites leading into Wrestle Dream. So it's there. Hopefully they can go ahead and well, I can't think of the word I want to say here.
Capitalize on it.
Execute. Execute these 2 shows, because they could be, no pun intended, they could be dynamite.
Yeah. No, I think they can have some good banger shows, and then we know Wrestle Dream will be good. I mean, that's one thing with AEW. Even people who don't watch AEW every week say that you normally tune into their pay-per-views, though, because AEW always hits a home run when it comes to their pay-per-views, or more times than not. They've had a couple here and there that haven't been that great, but yeah. Stephen Chambers saying because of MLB playoffs, correct? Title Tuesday. You're right. Yes. Yeah. And Shep, Stephen Chambers also said we also have Title Tuesday coming up because of the MLB playoffs as well in October.
Fuck baseball. Baseball sucks.
Majin's giving it a 6.5. Said he didn't feel the first hour. Dynamite.
Come on, Majin, your boy kicked off the show.
Yeah, he did.
Fellow Canadian.
Unless maybe that's why he didn't feel the first hour. Who is your AW wrestler of the week, Shep?
My wrestler of the week is going to be turned into plural. My wrestlers of the week. We saw them in a 10-man tag.
This was coming
on Saturday. And then we got word today that they are officially signed. They are elite, all elite. And that is the Outrunners.
Yes.
And if you can't get behind these 2 jabronis, then you need to get your shit together.
Yep, they're fun. The crowd loves them. They put in their dues, working OVW for years.
OVW. How they had the house shows. Well, house shows. I know that's a thing of the past now, but they had live shows freaking up the road in Logansport, Indiana, of all places.
Now they're main eventing Collision on TNT. So pretty cool.
So, obviously Midwestern guys, and just they know how to market themselves. They use social media to their favor. Got recognized, and it's just taken off. And now they're getting pops in front of 5, 8, 7,000 people on these shows, and it's awesome. So,
yep.
And they can work in the ring. They can go.
Oh yeah.
So they're not Goldberg, not Tanner's best friend Goldberg.
Oh boy. Oh my. Oh, where to start there? I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm going with Dustin Rhodes as my wrestler of the week. I thought him and Sammy and Matt Taven, Mike Bennett put on a really fun match last night. Taven, Bennett, and Rhodes bled. Sammy did not, but Sammy had some gnarly table spots. Wouldn't expect anything less. I'm sure Tay was thrilled with that while she was watching at home with their baby daughter when Sammy's doing flips and stuff right through the...
Sorry. Have I ever had a knife on the pod?
No, I'm very scared right now. I am very scared. What are you doing with that, by the way?
So I cracked open another beer, and I didn't. My frozen mug is thawed now. So, okay, rewind. Remember when Miller Lite came out with the cans where you could take the golf tee and push it on the top, and the tee would poke a hole like a carb?
Right.
Well, Miller Lite can get away with those. So when I crack open a beer and have to drink it out of a can, so I poke a hole in it, and the closest thing. The closest thing to my setup here, and I'm set up here, is a knife that I could go grab without taking my headset off. So we got a knife on the pod. So if you
Shep-
don't like the Outrunners, no,
Shep's gonna bleed the hard way, everybody.
no, I'm like, I ain't gonna do that. That's not nice.
Uh,
Now I got a stink
man.
bug in my house.
oh man.
Anyways,
But-
sorry. I
No,
didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
Peter.
you're
Sorry.
good. I was just saying I was give my reason for Dustin being my wrestler of the week. I mean, the dude has not re-signed yet with AEW. Actually, it was announced today he's starting his own promotion. I don't think that's gonna cause him not to re-sign with AEW or anything. Because he had a post today how he's loved the 5 years of AEW. He loves this company, keeps him alive pretty much. Yeah, man, he can still go at his age. And Sammy's been fun since he's come back. I kind of like this new character, Sammy Guevara, that's been in ROH a little bit. And Taven and Bennett can go too. I really enjoyed that match. That was fun.
Yeah, they did a really, really good job.
Mhm.
Little bloody.
Yep.
They did a good job.
Yep. 3 of the 4 bled. And like I said, Sammy had some nasty table spots, but he did them safely. He tucked the chin on the flip. So, yep. So, anything else, Shep, you want to cover around AEW or any other promotions? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, we haven't talked about him in a while, but you sent a tweet to Paul and I Friday night about the 6-minute vignette of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, and said it was pure magic.
I liked it.
So you sent that, put the kids to bed, came out, and started watching SmackDown. And I got to that spot and watched it and was like, holy shit, these two guys are somehow taking this Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes feud, and we're going to get – what are we on? A year and a half now of the Bloodline versus Cody?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to get over 2 years of this. We're going to get 2 years of this. That's how good of storytelling they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it helps that the Bloodline has endless characters. Okay. And there's more characters to come. There's one Fatu that has pulled all of his independent bookings. He was on GCW a lot, and I want to call him Zillow because I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, it's it starts with a Z. He's the other brother.
He's the Fatu.
Zillow and Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah. He's
Zilla,
been pulled.
Zilla,
Not Zillow. Zillow Fatu. That's funny.
Zilla. Yeah, Zilla
but he's pulled all of his independent bookings. So obviously we could see him down the road. You have Jay doing his own thing right now. We haven't seen.
Dude's over.
He is. And you know what? Once a week, if I'm having a shitty day, you know what I do? I turn on that post-match conference when him and Cody won the tag team titles in Indianapolis.
Yep.
And I watched that post-match, and he is drunker than a skunk. Cody's buzzed. And if you don't watch that 5 minutes and smile, then there's something wrong with you. You're
dead inside. And
there's something wrong with you.
You remember when Cody eats, right? At the end?
Oh, he does.
You know who was responsible for that?
Who's that?
Pluggo.
Oh, was Pluggo in that?
Yep. He was at that. Yep, and he's the one who yelled at Cody to eat. So we can thank our buddy Pluggo from Between Two Beards for that. So
hey, Pluggo, you did something good, bud. Because you sure in the hell can't pick an AEW card, we found out.
Can't take the title off me. Sorry.
Yeah, well, me and JPJ, we got screwed.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you have anything else on the Cody stuff? I'm sorry.
No, I just thought I thought what they're doing right now with that story is just one of my favorite things in professional wrestling now is this Bloodline story, and it just keeps growing, and they're doing a hell of a job with it.
They're gonna have each other's back, but Roman said, "Hey, after this, I'm coming for what's mine." So,
and I still think it's Roman Rock.
You don't think it's Cody Rock?
No, No, because I don't know. Okay, if it's Cody Rock and Rock goes over,
And the reason I say that is how the last time we saw The Rock was on Raw after WrestleMania. He pretty much
Right.
told Cody there's unfinished business.
then maybe that's night one. Rock goes over night two, then it's Roman Rock. Because I don't think you can ever have Roman versus Rock and it's not WrestleMania.
Right.
You can't have that at even and nothing against SummerSlam, Survivor Series, or Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Those do not hold that type of match.
Yeah, right.
So eventually we're going to see Roman versus Rock, and it's the only place you're ever going to see that's at WrestleMania.
Yep.
So
maybe it's at Mania 42, if not 41. I don't know. I don't know how many more matches we can get out of The Rock. Even though he was fine at night 1 of 40, I don't know.
But Rock's not 50. Is he 50?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's 50.
Well, Double J's 57 and going into a double strap match.
Dwayne's 52.
He's got another 5 years in him.
Okay. All right.
If he can't go another 5 years, because you got to remember when he quit wrestling to go to Hollywood, that he had to be 10 years ago, right? Maybe longer.
when he quit wrestling, that was like 03, 04.
So he was still in his 30s. So his body has not deteriorated like a guy like a Ric Flair who never stopped wrestling.
Right.
I'm just using him as an example.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should get another 5 years out of The Rock.
Yeah,
his body should be fine.
We could. So, and Steffi, you are correct. Last time Rock was on a Rumble, CM Punk was the champ back in 2013, I believe. Yeah.
So here's the big thing: the Rumble's in Indianapolis this year.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
If Cody's still the champion going into the Rumble, do we see The Rock and Roman both in the Rumble this year?
I've been saying for a long time, but now I could see this actually happening with the World Heavyweight Championship instead of the WWE Championship. But I've been saying for the longest time that Cody loses the WWE title around Rumble to a heel Randy Orton. John Cena wins the Rumble. Cena takes it off of Orton at WrestleMania for number 17. I've said that for months now. But the more I think about it, it might make more sense for Cena to take the world title off Gunther. I think John Cena wins the Royal Rumble. That's where I'm coming at.
Well, if you had Roman versus Rock, you don't necessarily need a belt involved. That's big enough. That match could hold its own.
Right.
So, unfortunately, I think if you had anything involving Cody, I think he needs the belt. So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Picking up here, I know you guys kind of introduced something last week, a non-wrestling question segment, and Majin asked about Linkin Park's new lead singer, and he wants my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Shep gave a really good answer last week because that was part of the show I did see. I think she's very talented vocally. And I think if you're a Linkin Park fan, Chester was one of a kind. Nobody's ever going to replicate Chester. But you got to just sit back and enjoy what they're trying to do to keep his legacy going, his memory alive, in that we're still getting Linkin Park music.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Yep. So I have no problem with it. I think it's a neat direction they decided to go. A direction I don't think a lot of people decided or thought they would decide to go. But I'm up for it. I see nothing wrong with it. So, but I'm excited that they're going to be pumping out some more new music.
So let's.
So I think Steffi's got a question, a non-wrestling question. She's going to ask us, I believe.
All right.
So waiting to see what she comes up with.
It can't be about politics or religion. So
no, we're going to keep that out of it. But what were you going to say before?
I said actually, I had another good music related question.
Okay.
And I guess it wasn't a question. It was more, I guess a question. What, and I think I know your answer already, but what is your favorite concert live? And I think I already know that one.
It actually was the concert I just went to this past week. I saw Green Day out in Phoenix, Arizona at Chase Field where the Diamondbacks play. It was my 6th time seeing them live. I would have said seeing them my 5th time, which was 2021 when they played with Weezer and Fall Out Boy at Wrigley Field. That was pretty darn cool. But what set this one apart for me was they played 37 songs, 37. And why there was so many, they played their 2 most popular albums, Dookie, this is the 30th year anniversary, and American Idiot, the 20th year anniversary. They played those albums front to back, which was pretty darn cool. I had seen a majority of those songs played live, but not all of them. So to see those played plus 10 of their hits that weren't on those albums played was pretty darn cool. Long concert. And I saw our boy Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins. They were right before Green Day. So I had to roll my eyes a couple times. I might have yelled, "Hey, you booked Tyrus as your champ, you idiot."
Was Smashing Pumpkins opened up for him?
Well, actually, there was 4 bands. They had a really young female group called the Linda Lindas. I believe they're all like 20 years old and younger. They opened. Then Rancid came on after them.
Oh,
yeah, which was fun to watch them live. They were good.
I mean, you're too young to listen to Rancid, aren't you?
I knew about 4 of their songs. I'm familiar with Lars because Lars is a big wrestling fan.
Right.
And then Smashing Pumpkins were after them, and then Green Day. So it was a really fun show. It was my wife's first time seeing Green Day live, so we had a good time. What's your favorite concert? I have not gone to too many country concerts. I know you've gone to plenty. So
I wish.
And Steffi, yes, time of their life is always the last show of a Green Day concert. Billy Joe always sings it by himself, and that closes the.
I wish I could have the money back I spent on concert tickets in my 20s and early 30s. But the best concert that I've ever been to was, and I've been to Lucas Oil, I've been to Allegiant Stadium in Vegas, but I'm going homegrown roots, man. I'm going, I call it Deer Creek Amphitheater, Ruoff Mortgage.
It's Ruoff now. Yeah, I went from
was
Deer Creek
Verizon,
to
Verizon, whatever. Deer Creek, Noblesville, Indiana. We packed 28,000 people into this freaking place for one jelly roll. And I've seen anybody and everybody in Ruoff. But when he came out, the pop he got, the appreciation and the show he put on, it was the reason I bought a ticket to Allegiant Stadium the following year to watch him open up for Morgan Wallen. And nothing against Morgan Wallen. If anybody's Morgan Wallen fans out there, that's great. He's a great singer. Jelly Roll outperformed Morgan Wallen in Allegiant Stadium. And I just sold my Louisville tickets of Jelly Roll because it happens to be the chili cook-off and a bunch of that shit. And I bought those tickets before I knew in November 7th, he's going to be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the old Conseco Fieldhouse. Mm-hmm. Jelly Roll's coming back to Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. So we're going back there. But yeah, that was that's I haven't found and look, I rank him up. I saw Garth Brooks, one of the best performers I've ever seen. Kenny Chesney, one of the best performers I've ever seen. Jason Aldean's up there. Luke Bryan's up there. Eric Church is up there. I've seen the Eagles twice. I love the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Great performers. I'm telling you right now, Jelly Roll's a step above. He's that good of a performer.
I need to see him. I know my wife really wants to see him in concert. So,
well, you should buy tickets down in Indianapolis, November 7th, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's a Thursday night. Yeah,
it's a Thursday night. You don't work really. You got.
I work a hybrid schedule.
You got 47 vacation days, Tanner. You guys go down there and I'll buy dinner. How about that?
All right, we might have to take you up on that.
There you go.
Martin said his is either Disturbed in the Pit, oh my God, or Hailstorm at a festival for the first time when I saw him.
I saw Disturbed at an Ozfest and absolutely loved them.
They would be really good live.
Love them. The lead singer of Disturbed is one of the best singers I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's really talented vocalist.
Yes.
Steffi did send in her question. I want to make sure. I had a feeling it was going to be NASCAR related.
All right, let's do
Okay,
it.
this one is a hard one. Who is the GOAT of NASCAR? And you can't not say Earnhardt or Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, Richard Petty then. If you're taking those two guys out of there, it's Richard Petty.
And if we can't say the same answer, I was not a fan of the guy, but I will say Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, he's right up there.
Even though I was the Earnhardt guy when I watched. I haven't watched it too much since Stewart and Johnson and Gordon and Earnhart all kind of got out. I haven't watched it too much.
I actually another guy that's right up there. It would be Darrell Waltrip. Him and Earnhardt hated each other in the early days, and he really pushed Earnhardt to be better. He's another one. And if you're talking nowadays, I mean, right now there's only one guy dominating motorsports right now, and that's Kyle Larson. So, young money right here.
Yeah, it's interesting too. For a little while NASCAR, Kyle Busch was kind of dominating everything, but it's kind of passed him by a little bit.
So. Yeah, his attitude got him kicked out of one of the best rides in motorsports.
Yeah, you can be a great driver, but when the other teams have better equipment, I mean, look what Hendricks does. I mean, like him or hate him, got the best equipment. So, Majin said they came with Disturbed, Avenged Centerfold, Stone Sour, Hell Yeah, and a couple other smaller bands. Wow. Steffi said, my favorite concert I've been to might shock Shep and Tanner. Okay, got to hear it now. And Majin said he can't wait for his concert next month.
Evanescence Hellstorm. That'd be a great. I would enjoy that show. I would enjoy that show a lot.
Ooh, Steffi's would have been Metallica. Now they would be fun. I saw they just released the tour next year.
Yeah, I saw they did a world tour. They're doing half the tour is 2-night stops, and they guarantee every other night being a different set list.
That's crazy.
Because I saw Limp Bizkit's opening up for him, which I love Fred Durst. He's a nut job, but I
can't
love him.
think of Limp Bizkit without thinking the Rock and Stone Cold. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's where my wrestling fan brain goes.
That's probably one band that I want to see before I leave this great earth is Metallica. I love Metallica. It'd be a really hard sell for my wife. It's hard enough for me to get her to go to a Jelly Roll concert. But I would love to see Metallica. I listen to Metallica all the time, and I'd love to see them live.
And Majin said when they did Sound of Silence, David Draymond was sending props to the U.S. troops and even showing various troops who have passed away behind them on the screens. I honestly had tears in my eyes.
I would have too. I would have too. That's a great
Steffi
song.
Said she was screaming Enter Sandman. Don't blame her. Great one. Great one there. Gets you.
Yeah.
Gets
If you're at a Metallica concert and he plays Enter Sandman, if you don't smash a beer can on your forehead and draw blood, what are you doing?
Raising a kendo stick in there.
Yeah. You know what? You might not get a kendo stick past security. I'm just
Probably
saying.
not. Probably not. Probably
But
not.
if you could and smash a beer can and raise a kendo stick, maybe 10% of the crowd would give you props.
Steven Larson of Going In Raw, we're talking about 10 of the bloodiest matches they've ever watched, or 10 things that went wrong in wrestling matches. And they were at one of them. They were talking about was an XCW show. And they handed out kendo sticks at that show to the fans. You're just asking for trouble.
Just everybody hitting each other with kendo sticks. I mean, what a great gimmick. I mean,
yeah, that way.
Hey, the first 100 fan gets a free kendo stick.
Oh, man.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the coach behind you?
Probably. Yep. Coach and Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
I appreciate the coach, especially for giving you that shout out from our buddy Chris
Coach
Smith. But
Coach cut a promo on me.
Man, he's pretty hard on Tony Khan and AEW anymore on Twitter.
on his little well,
little pod.
he does his little podcast on YouTube, and
Yep.
he's not he's kind of loyal back to the mother
Yeah,
hen land.
which they paid his checks for a long time. So
Yeah.
speaking of a guy who doesn't like AEW, Easy E behind me.
He's a
Eric Bischoff.
dick. He's a
Yeah,
dick.
now he's got to, now that AEW's getting this new TV contract, he's got to swallow that, and he's still not giving them their flowers. So yeah,
there's a reason he had to move to Montana because nobody likes his ass.
Wyoming, same thing.
Montana, Wyoming,
Cody, Wyoming, I believe.
So, yeah.
Anything else, Shep, tonight before we?
I'm good. I short and sweet tonight.
Yeah.
We didn't have Paul because Paul bitches and drags thing on. No, I'm just joking, Paul.
Yeah. Hopefully next Sunday will be the 3-man band. This 3-man band, not the one with Slater, McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal.
So, all right, here I'm okay with it. Next week we can have lazy booking. We can have a trio.
Yep.
Okay?
Oh, and I am declining Paul's challenge to put the title on the line at Grand Slam because for one, he's not here, and two, it's just not a big enough event for me. So it's got to have to wait till Wrestle Dream.
Wow.
Yep. Sorry.
Where'd you go?
Sorry. So. All right. Well, with that said, if you haven't already, please give this podcast a follow wherever you listen to podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart, wherever. And if it is on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us that 5-star rating. It really helps us out. Leave a comment as well. We'd really appreciate it. Follow, like us, subscribe to us on all social media platforms at Kicking Out Pod. And if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit that notification bell to make sure you are notified whenever we go live, which is 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays, or we drop any kind of other video out on our YouTube channels. And you can follow us on our social media if you want to. I'm at Tanner Lee on Instagram and Twitter. Shep's at TheShep27, and Paul is at Paul Zartman87. And you can buy some merchandise. Go to kickingOutShop.com. You can support our podcast. Look great doing so. We got t-shirts, hoodies, zip-ups, coffee mugs, and more on there. So please buy that. And with that, I'm Tanner Lee. He's Austin Shepard. Until next week, when we kick out yet another podcast.